Jack, good week's training?
Yeah, enjoyable. First time we've really had it actually, I think, since I came into the job, so nice to have that extended period between games, with the game being on a Sunday as well, so it'd be nice to be out with the players as much as we have been this week.
What about Sunday's game then? And we'll speak to Ryan here about Celtic. First of all, is it good to get them coming back from a European trip? I know it was a much changed side last night that Neil had out in Romania.
I think from my experiences over the years as a player, coach and manager, you can perhaps overanalyse the best or the worst times to get the champions. It's a difficult game at any time. As I said, you can overanalyse what's went beforehand. They came off winning a cup final, it can go either way as well. So what doesn't change is the size of the task, because they're a really good team, in terrific form as well. But we believe we're a good team as well, and in a good place equally. So I think it points towards it being an attractive fixture and a good fixture and a competitive one. But we're respectful of the task that we face, but equally have to have that belief within the group that we can go there and be positive.
Whenever teams come up against Rangers or Celtic, there's a lot of clubs and a lot of fans look at it as a free hit. Do you see it as that?
No, I mean, for me, the preparation for the game is consistent with that for any other team in the league. So that points to then that it should mean exactly the same. It's a bigger challenge because of the calibre of the opposition. I think that's very obvious to say that. But no, I think your mentality as a team has to be that it's an equal opportunity to gain points as it is playing against any other side in the league.
When you see the two of them going head to head now, Rangers ran them very close on Sunday when you say they deserved to win on Sunday against Celtic. And yet here they are, the pair of them going into a European campaign beyond Christmas. There's no doubt that's good for the Scottish game. But could that make the league a bit more competitive as well, because they have all these games now coming up?
I mean, I think they're probably both from a point they're probably both happy that they're both qualified, if you like, so they're both facing the same scheduling, if you like. I think they've probably got over the worst of that, if you like, because I think the group stages of European tournaments are challenging, be it Champions League or Europa League, because of the number of fixtures and how quickly they fall, in particular Europa League, how much it affects your weekend fixtures and when they fall again. So I think it will ensure that they probably that closeness, if you like, the title race will probably continue. Does it offer up a greater opportunity for other teams to take points off them? I don't know. As I said that earlier, I think it's difficult to say with certainty how much that affects teams, because sometimes you're in that flow of playing games and winning and playing well regularly. It helps as well.
The fact that you beat Aberdeen last week, does that prove to you and maybe the Hibs supporters as well that the team that you have now can compete for third place in the league?
I think in quite a short space of time we've flipped it a little bit from being in a difficult position to a much more promising one, and one to give a lot more optimism to supporters. I think not just the Aberdeen game, I think you can go on about we beat Motherwell, who are third in the table now, and a good side, and so that is just as equally significant, I think, and also played really well against Kilmarnock, team that's consistently been in the top 3, 4, 5 positions in the table. So those fixtures, I think, are showing that we're more than capable of competing and winning against those teams in the higher part of the table, and if we can do that consistently, not just against them but in the other teams in the league, then it gives us that chance to not only remain where we are but push on from there as well.
Martin Boyle's hitting the heights once again after his injury. I know he just signed an extended contract with the club, I think it was earlier in the year. Do you worry though that some suitors may come calling in January for him, or beyond even? I think
it's the nature of the beast as well. So as a manager, I would always like my best players to be playing at their maximum, and if that means they're creating headlines and attracting attention, and you ultimately lose them, then that's just part of the game. Unless you're at the very, very top, it'll always happen to you. But there's a benefit to you as a manager, because in that period where they're playing well and attracting attention, they're hopefully helping you win games. It's just the trick, and the hardest part is keeping them for as long as you can. So we've got a number that, if they're at the top of their game, will attract attention. If ultimately that proves to be the case, then great, because it means, as I said earlier, that we'll have been winning games on a regular basis and they'll have been playing well.
Do you expect interest in him or any of the players?
No, I mean, for me at the moment, I suppose whether it's naivety or not, we've been so fresh in the job and we're having so much to focus and concentrate on in terms of games. I probably haven't allowed my mind to drift at any point as to, I've said, probably given this answer about incomings in January, that everything's been about preparing the team for the next game. So I've not really given any thought to anything that might happen in a negative or positive way in terms of the squad.
Jack, you and your teams got a lot of plaudits for the way you played at Celtic Park before, Alloa and St Mirren. You, as a coach, you enjoy going there and trying to take on the champions rather than sitting in that?
Prefer to. I've lost both games though as well. So would you rather have had positive results and maybe not had plaudits then perhaps? But yeah, I mean, I think it depends what you've got at your disposal. Even though there were very different circumstances I went in, particularly the St Mirren team I went with had probably a good attacking threat, and I've got that within this squad. It's how we've set up in the games we've had today. It would be remiss of me as a manager to try and play in a positive way if I didn't have the players that suited, but I've got a squad that suits to play that way, irrespective of the opposition in the venue, and that's what we'll try and do on Sunday. That's not it's not being blasé about it, because it's not easy to do, because you've got to deal with the other part of the game properly as well against a really good team. But if we can get that right, then we believe we've got enough of a threat in forward areas to play that way as well.
I know you have got to look quite close to Brendan Rodgers after those games as well. Did he invite you up to Langstown to look about? Did you was that a benefit to you to go and see Celtic training?
Yeah, I was up a couple of occasions, watched them train, spent some time with Brendan, then I was up later on after that just for a coffee with him, just general career advice. He was really good to me when he was in Scotland, helpful to me as a coach, and as a manager. I don't think it's any surprise not a surprise to me, having seen him work up closely to the success he's now enjoying back in England, because I think he is very good at what he does. So at that time he was as a young coach and manager, and one that was just starting out, he was a big help to me.
You come head to head with Neil Lennon?
A lot through playing career, coach and management career, so in charge of St Mirren when Neil was in charge of Hibs, and then obviously not came against him since he's moved to Celtic. But the one thing I would say is I've got an enormous amount of respect for every single manager that does the job, because now I'm nearly 200 games into it, and it's a tough profession, and even more so nowadays. So respect for all the managers, but then admiration for those that are consistently successful, and that's what Neil has been as a manager at different clubs and in different periods. He's consistently won games and won trophies, and it's not easy to do. The first one's difficult to do, to get a win record that sits above 40%. I think for any manager is very good, and then to win silverware's tough. I think there's a stat out, if you don't do it within the first 3 years, it becomes tough for you as a manager. So enormous amount of admiration for the job he's currently doing and he's done in the past.